Good morning. So I just wanted to get on here. I was praying and speaking to God. And, a lot of people's excuses is God hasn't spoke to me. He hasn't revealed that to me. When in reality is God has spoken to you and he has shown it to you in his word. A lot of people don't want to see what he has spoken to them or hear. And even then, sometimes God speaks to you and you don't even hear it. There's an example back in the 80s. There was, I'm sure there's more than that, but back in the 80s, there was a guy who was preaching and he was telling a story. His friend, who's a minister, God told him not to get on the plane, and he got on the plane, and the plane crashed, and he died. So God can be speaking to you, and you're not hearing it, or you're poo-pooing it away. Another example, I think a few years later, another pastor said that God told him not to get on the plane, and they didn't get on the plane, and the plane crashed. So there's, another one is my father. He woke up 3 days in a row with a dream and God telling him to get his money out of the stock market. And he said, "Get thee behind thee, Satan." That's what he said. Well, on the fourth day, the stock market in 1980s crashed and he lost all of my grandpa's money. So the excuse, God hasn't spoken to me. He hasn't showed me that. That's just an excuse. Because God speaks to people all the time. Whether we hear him or not is another story. And whether we've read the Word of God correctly or understood it is a different story. So just remember, just because someone's preaching to you and they're showing you the Word of God and you don't like what you're hearing, doesn't mean that God hasn't been speaking to you to the whole time. And then if they're showing you the Word of God and saying, okay, here's this verse, here's this verse, here's this verse, God's speaking to you in the Bible too. So just always remember that and always try to be open. Because there's so many things. I mean, for me, just little stuff, not major stuff like that. If I would have listened to God, there were so many things that could have happened that didn't. And so we just always need to make sure that we're not speaking and acting in offense or pride or because we don't want to do something. That does not mean that God hasn't spoken to us. So I just wanted to speak that to you and show that to you. And I hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you later. Ciao, ciao.